I'm allowed to say first names, but here we are. When he met him, it was like, it's all over my social media. He fell in love. Like these two became best friends, and that's what bonded us. And it was similar with the house. We found this house that like had been vacant for years, and even the agent that we had was like, "Are you sure?" Like everything was like,
shit happens. Shit happens to you and me. It doesn't matter if you're a wizard, a king, or a queen. Even if you are magic, you gotta agree. It's worth it to talk shit out, no matter how messy.
Welcome to Shit Happens, where shit always happens, and no shit is too insignificant to discuss. From trivial inconveniences to life's profound challenges and everything in between, this show explores every aspect of the unpredictable nature of existence with your favorite shit talker and host, P.
Yay, it's P!
It's Friday, but I don't know why my energy is like this. So y'all need to get my energy on a Friday vibe. Like I was about to cancel, but for this special person, I couldn't cancel. So she's that special for me to be able to actually be like, fuck it, let me get out of bed. I even showered for this person. So that's how special she is. Only because, funny enough, we recorded, she's supposed to be part of season 7 of Talk Shit with P. We recorded that episode is somewhere in the desk, somewhere in the hard drive over there. Maybe one day it will see the day of light, but for now, it's somewhere in there, and me and I can talk. So I'm hoping we will be able to keep it in 1 hour, but forgive me if we don't. But the best thing about it, it's gonna be an incredible conversation, and you're gonna laugh a lot, because me and I laugh a lot, and I think that's why it takes forever to get shit out. But shit happens, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and bring Sunny to the stage.
Hola, hello. I'm so happy to be here with you. And thank you, because you have every right to and freedom to cancel on me anytime you want. I'm so honored that you kept our chat date. Thank you.
I had to, because I felt like if I cancel on you, I might never get you again.
Dude, I was super tired too. I literally slept out here on this balcony last night. I like make like myself a pillow fort with blankets and pillows, and I fell asleep at like 7 p.m. on this balcony last night, and I was just gonna nap, and I woke up at 3 a.m. like, wait, where am I? What did I do?
Yeah, because you texted me at 8. I looked at that message. I was like, not now. I'm trying to sleep. Like, but I'm so jealous that you
right
get
before I fell asleep because we're an hour difference.
I'm so jealous because you get to sleep out there. You remember last year in the summer when I put out my mattress outside in my balcony, and I was literally spending the entire. I would just go inside during the day because it would be so fucking hot, but at night with the breeze and sometimes even the rain, it feels like it's something about sleeping outside. That's the best of camping you can get me to do. Like, don't take me to the woods, but I can camp on balconies.
And that's the thing. I'm moving back to the woods in like 10 days. So I have to take advantage of this view. I'm not going to be seeing this. I'm in Acapulco, Mexico now.
But I mean, everywhere you have been journeying through this phase, you have been lucky with the views. Apart from that place, which the entrance was kind of fucked up, but the view was still amazing. Like,
that's this place. Acapulco went through a hurricane, and so everything is being rebuilt. And my hallway when I first got here, and until very recently, was just construction. And still, like, walls are ripped out. There's wires hanging everywhere. Maybe before the call is done, I'll bring my laptop on a little walk around the hallway.
Well, we might as well get into it, because now we are doing a catch-up when we can do a catch-up anytime. So, you're on Shit Happens, and shit happens. Shit definitely happens. And some shit has been happening to you in this past 1 year. So
some?
I'm trying to be nice, okay?
Yeah, let's just get it all out there. I lost my house, my marriage, my dog, my cats. I've
sanity.
Did I ever have that? I don't know. Also, in case listeners are wondering, talk about shit happens. My microphone pop filter broke while I was traveling, and I haven't been able to find anything anywhere. And I substituted with a bra insert and a sock, and it's working. So
I mean, you gotta make shit happen, right? And you made shit happen. If it works, right? And but that proves that sometimes we're so concerned about all these extravagant things where you can actually make do with something as small as your bra profiles.
it's working. I was so over the moon when I discovered this fix.
I mean, you recorded albums and musical
this.
with that shit. Like, look at that. So let's talk about your shit happens. You wanna take us through that?
Yeah.
Because what I love about it, it's like you're being reborn. Like you're finding yourself, and now you're coming back to us in a different piece that we are excited to get to know and love as much as we did the old version of you. So I don't know. I might love this new version way more than the old one, because fuck that bitch, right? But
No, that bitch got me here. I love her with all my heart. She's perfect.
so
That's the thing. She was only a she because I didn't realize when I was all right. Paula and I met at Podfest about this time last year, like ish. So it's been like
shout out
year.
to Justin. I think you were sitting on a table with Justin, and I walked up, and it has been a love at first sight since then.
Yes, that was a really fun moment.
The shit that was discussed in that table.
The way my brain works, Paula, I don't really remember a lot of things
Don't
about
worry,
my life. I'm just
I will
floating through
remind
it.
you. I will remind you. There was a lot that was discussed on that table.
Well,
I learned things I wasn't wanting to learn, but I learned. So. But then that's the thing with Justin. The same shit happened this podcast. Like, I think every podcast, me and him just get deeper into the hole, and I'm like, why do I set myself up every time? But continue, sorry.
it's fun to be humans with other humans who like to be open and weird and strange. We need each other. So this time last year, I was basically October through like mid-January of 2022 to 2023, I had COVID pneumonia and I couldn't like speak. I couldn't move. I was in bed, very certain I was dying. Like I had one moment where I had fallen out of the bed and I couldn't lift my body up, and I got my phone and I used every muscle I had left to text my family, like, pull the plug. Like, if you find me and I'm on life, I don't remember what I said, but like the message was, because I was so out of it too, but I know I was trying to say, like, if I end up on life support, pull the plug. I don't want to be on life support. Like, I'm just trying to go, like, let me go. Like, that's where I was at. And then Paula, like, next thing I know, I'm in bed and like I'm sick but not dying. And ever since then, reality has changed for me. And I realized I had been like the human language, and who knows, right? Like the Nobel Prize this year came out proving that reality isn't locally real. And so like, who knows what reality is? But my human experience was that of having masked so much of who I was all my life, and not in like, nothing's gone wrong. Nothing is bad, right? Like my experience of being an omni-gender person, a person who's fluid in their gender identity, can identify as any gender, and mostly identifies as all gender at once. I didn't know that as a kid. I didn't know that was allowed, but I remember having a lot of anxiety around gender-related topics and feeling like I had to prove what a girl I was. And like, I also didn't realize how much I was masking my neurodivergence. Like just in the beginning of this call, when I said I don't remember our conversation, in the past, I would have like pretended to remember. I didn't even know I was doing these things where I was trying to prove like oh yeah, I'm on the same page as everyone else. I know what's going on with you. I'm not in my own world, I swear. Like, I used to try to prove so hard that I was in the same world as everyone else when, like, I am not. I see light beings. I receive messages and visions like all day long. I am a very strange being. I sense and perceive and feel everything. And that was diagnosed as bipolar type 1 when I was younger. And that diagnosis made sense. But when I'm allowed to just let myself be this free weirdo, well, I'm no longer a match for the person I thought was the love of my life. And a lot of the other things I thought I really wanted, I am a match for the things I really am in love. And that's like being ultra creative. And I take myself on dates, like on Valentine's Day this week. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago? I spent almost the whole day making a cover of Justin Timberlake's Selfish as a gift to myself. And it's like, I don't know, I had to kill that old part of me through having that COVID pneumonia to see how much masking I'd been doing. Like, I wouldn't even let my body stim, which it loves to do. And now I've been traveling abroad all alone and creating and exploring more of what this person is when I don't stop it from being what it wants to be.
I love that. Like, first of all, it takes a lot of guts to leave a comfort zone, because your life was a comfort zone. Your person was a comfort zone. And having to make that decision to end your marriage, that no matter what, it's never an easy situation, especially when you still love the person, but you just are heading into different directions. It's easier when at least somebody has cheated or somebody has done some fucked up shit to you. Like when there's a specific reason that you kind of hate this person, but you still really love and
I still love him. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
but it's different now. Like, we both realized we had cut ourselves short in a way. Like, we had cut off parts of who we were to be with each other, and we didn't realize we had done that.
but that takes growth, right? Because nobody in the beginning understands that. There are people even longer time to get it because they are being mad or being petty or having these hardcore realizations where they don't even want to look into themselves or clearly hear where you're coming from or what you're saying, because we are quick to respond, but we are not quick to actually hear what the person is saying. So that can also do that. And to go, what should I call it? Because you literally have been, what's the word? Hitchhiking, not hitchhiking. What is it called? Okay, you just packed your bag and decided to go.
Oh, 7 days in advance. So my former spouse and I, which we were never married legally, so it feels like extreme to say we're divorced.
When you say you were not married legally, what does that exactly mean?
We just decided one day we'd have, okay. In all actuality, I begged him to marry me like 5 times, and we learned a lot in this. I learned, like, I'm not begging someone to marry me again. Like, if they don't want to, great, good for them.
How old were you?
Old. This is like 2 years ago. 35.
So it's a new like it's still kind of a new marriage.
It was new, but we'd been together. I think our total is almost 9 years.
And you had to beg him to marry you.
He was like, because we're in his mind, he's like, we're already married. Like, we don't need this. He's like, I don't want government and religion. I don't want this to be about someone else anyway. Like, I'm not trying to talk about someone else. Like, I love him so much. He deserves his privacy. But it really was a great eye-opener of like someone who doesn't want government or religion involved in their marriage or their relationship. And I was like, I respect that. I love that so much. I just want to have some kind of ceremony and a date that we celebrate every year. Like, we don't have a thing. Like, we didn't have an anniversary kind of dates. Like, I just wanted like a thing that solidified it. And I wanted it to be this like quarterly renewal of our love where we do it on like the solstice and equinox. Like, I had all these like visions, and turns out like these like woo-woo metaphysical things I want to do in my relationship are not things that this other person really wants to do. And we loved each other so much that we were trying to fit each other for each other. But then we realized our love for each other was so strong that we want to support each other in and not fitting together, but fitting with whoever we're meant to fit with, if anyone. And so it's a painful transition in a lot of ways, but that pain was really necessary because it's all about me, right? Like it's never about the other person. I had to move through all of that for myself. A lot of that pain stems from childhood wounds of not being enough, not being loved enough. This human loved me enough that I felt safe enough to come out as omni-gender, which in the past, I even if that awareness had come to me, which it hadn't until this year, before it was just like, something's off, I don't know what, and he made me feel so safe that I could just be that instantly. Like I didn't have to learn it about myself and hide it for more than like an hour of my life. Like I was just able to be myself instantly. And even though it changed the dynamic of our relationship, because that really does require, like, I'm realizing what I really crave is another person who also views themselves as omni-gender. And that really just changes so much. And it's a very basic core part of someone's identity to discover so late in life. But whatever, life's a beautiful journey. I'm grateful for every aspect I've had.
First of all, kudos for him, because it takes a lot to themselves go through this and be supportive with what you're going through. Because
He's the best.
we know human beings can be really dicks, assholes, or whatever when it comes to, oh, you're being selfish, you want this for yourself. Yeah. So it's nice to have that support and to know that our love is deeper than what we're going through right now, like, and to be supportive of each other going through that. So kudos to him. But also, I don't think it's ever too late or too old to switch your life or change your life, because I believe the more we keep living this life and learning, unless you're not learning about shit in life, like you're just going every day and being in your own world, but especially us being creatives, we constantly are in that zone of creating or figuring or digging deeper. So when we do that, we realize some shit like, yo, I kind of don't like the person I like. I don't like doing, and that's why even our brands change. That's why even we change, we grow. So it's never too late to change or grow. And I am proud of you for realizing that there's more to me and my life than this, and I want to explore that and find out where it's going to take me. And look where it's taken you. So how is traveling and finding yourself in this, I don't know, you were in Costa Rica and you were where, Mexico, and where I've been jealous living vicariously through you.
It's amazing. It's something I've always wanted. My whole life, I was like, oh, I want to be someone who travels, but I don't think I can make it happen. And I had given myself the illusion of being strapped too financially to go get a house that I wanted that was similar to like my former spouse and I. We had this immaculate, for me, like, and the way my life had been so far, like this plot of land that was on 8 acres in the woods of Vermont that abutted trails. And it was just stunning, just so stunning. And we were near a river. Like it was really, really gorgeous. And it was almost like the whole, okay, I'm going to tell this story. I'm hearing tell this story.
I just love how you get excited and you have this question. Hey! Okay, go ahead. Tell that story.
There's a reason my handle is called Overqualified Child. Okay, so my dog, who I adopted when he was 7, I had left an unhealthy relationship, and I was alone for the first time in my life. This was like mid to late 20s, and I adopted this pit bull who also had been like in an unhealthy relationship and was alone for the first time in his life. And when I got to the Humane Society, I explained I just want a chill dog that doesn't need a lot of exercise because this body doesn't do a lot of physical. Like I love my body. I love to express it and explore it, but like a high impact, like running stuff, like I'm not interested. So I need a dog that doesn't need to go on daily runs, and a dog that is great with children because I worked with kids, and a dog that just loves to snug. And they're like, okay. There's a reason I'm telling you this. It ties to everything. They're like, okay.
I'm excited. I'm listening.
I'm with my mom, and they give me this look. I'm like, okay, we think we have the dog for you. Come. And we go on this like special hallway, and it says staff only. And then we go in this room, And there is this pit bull standing on his hind legs going, "Rah!" Just like going insane, like totally berserk. And they're like, we swear, like he's just not good at this environment, but he is all the things you are describing. Do you want to have a date with him alone tomorrow in a playroom? And my mom and I look at each other. I'm like, yes, I do. I want to play with Jordan by myself tomorrow. And so I go from seeing this dog freaking out.
That sounded so wrong. I want to play with Jordan myself tomorrow. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I love how your brain works. So we go into this room for this play date, and all I had seen is this pit bull freaking out. And now he just comes over to me, goes right up to my face and boops me on the nose. Just a little gentle. And he was so gentle, so sweet, such an angel. Just this perfect dog. I take him home that day. And he is the reason why I ended up with my partner that I just left, because this dog really didn't like any men. But when he met Aaron, I don't know if I'm allowed to say first names, but here we are. When he met him, it was like, it's all over my social media. He fell in love. Like these two became best friends, and that's what bonded us. And it was similar with the house. We found this house that like had been vacant for years, and even the agent that we had was like, "Are you sure?" Like everything was like a dog going crazy. And it's like sometimes the things that are for you are going to appear like they're falling apart to the rest of the world, so that you're the one that gets to see the beauty for what it is, and you get to like really, it's like the universe is holding it off for you from everyone else so that you get to have it. And I just say this because I feel like a lot of people who follow you are creatives who might be in similar situations in their life, metaphorically speaking, where something might appear as though it's off, like something is not quite right, but you have a gut feeling in your body that it is right, even though the physical evidence doesn't seem that way yet. It's really important to trust those gut feelings.
So true. I agree with that. Just like how, when you find couples in a relationship and the man might be an asshole to you, but then when you see him with their partner, the girl with their partner, a girl who's always bitchy but with their partner, they're kind of sweet and soft. Like, okay, clearly that one was made for specifically.
Yeah. Like Jordan was a dick to a lot of other people who went to look for him, but he was sweet to me. And the youth program I worked at, he fit right in. Like he was around 100 children, just chill. And he helped heal a lot of kids' fears of dogs. And
he was waiting for you, and you were meant to be for him.
Yeah. And the same with this trip. So this trip looked like, for a while, my ex and I were like, well, since we're such dear friends, like maybe I still live here for a bit while I save up for a place in the area. Like we weren't really sure what it was going to look like, but all the places I could find in the area that were remotely going to give me like the privacy and space I needed at that very delicate time in my life, it was like 3 times what I had coming into my account to like do the last deposit, all of this, like anywhere near me. Like I just couldn't find anything. And then I saw, I put on Airbnb filters of good views. Clearly, since you've been following me, everywhere I've been, that has been the main thing I looked in Airbnb.
Even if I wasn't following you, you literally send me videos and pictures.
That's true. You get more than anyone who follows me. So I looked for good views in nature and privacy. Like I just knew that's what I was used to in Vermont. Like I was in the woods with good views and privacy every day. I knew I needed more of that for my healing, but I didn't know like the extent. I didn't realize that traveling to countries where I don't speak the language and have never traveled alone really like that before, let alone abroad alone. I didn't realize how much it was going to teach me to trust in myself more than ever. Like day one, I arrive in Costa Rica. I get to this apartment and I instantly lock myself out without a phone. And I didn't have, even if I had my phone, I didn't have service. I hadn't bought any service for traveling abroad. So it didn't matter whether or not I had a phone. I'm just locked out of this house and I meet this adorable couple of expats who happened to speak English. They were walking their dog. We took their dog on a walk. They took me to their house. They offered me water. They gave me a phone. I was able to call the landlord. Like they just helped me out. And that was day one. And I remember sitting against the door, locked out, and a breeze brushed against me. And I was like, okay, this is the love of the universe reminding me I am always surrounded. I am always safe. I am always supported. It was like a Disney cartoon. I'm like, all right, wind, where do you want to take me? And it took me to that couple. And like that was day one. And so like from there, more and more things kept happening where I had to just trust in source. It's like things are just working very differently. Like the other day I was wondering, where can I get a kayak around here? And then the next day I walked straight down here. These guys are so sweet. They invited me to a party last night that I missed because I fell asleep on the balcony, but they just stopped me and they're like, hey, we're your friends now. Like this crew I got, they're the best. I love this crew down there. They're always looking out for me, but they barely speak English and I barely speak Spanish. And they're like, we have a kayak for you. Like I didn't even have to Google search it. Like it was just there. And everything's just falling into place. Like the island, I don't know if you can see the island behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been just taking public buses that take me to the beach there. And even though I don't speak the language, like I'll bump into just the right people at just the right time. Like when I got off the bus, this man named Victor, and the names are always symbolic too, right? Victory. He stops me, he grabs my hand, he helps me cross the street and he goes, I have a boat for you. For less than $10, I got to take this public bus ride, learn how to find the awesome boat to the island. And I've been going there and snorkeling and just having the best time, all by trusting strangers in a language I don't speak, in a country I don't know anything about, that looks like it's falling apart because of the hurricane. I mean, there's trash and construction everywhere. And yet I'm just constantly being supported. I had to give myself such visceral examples. I got scammed on a car and then in Costa Rica, and two strangers helped me. One named Jesus, of course. I was like, oh yeah, Jesus is going to come save me. Thank you. The other Carlos. It's like Carlos car. That's like the car. They were just angels that came and helped save me so that my trip worked. Like so much of my trip I couldn't have planned, even if I gave myself time to plan, which my brain is not the kind of brain that knows how to plan. I literally just published 2 albums the other night because I felt called to.
I love it. And first of all, congratulations on publishing 2 albums. I was so excited for you about that, especially when you did it before midnight in like.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a big deal.
You inspire the hell out of me while I'm here sitting, procrastinating the whole day on only getting 1 shit done, and this bitch created 2 albums. Like,
that's a lot.
Get it together.
I came to this retreat. I knew when I was going to be abroad and alone that I wanted to get a lot of creativity done. But I didn't realize I would again almost die in a foreign country. I caught something that had me lose my voice, and it was so similar to COVID pneumonia. And I had to rely on strangers. This guy came to my house, picked me up because my car got stuck in mud, and he took me to a pharmacy where they gave me a shot in my butt. And I just had to trust in everything that was happening. It's been really wild. But if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know if I can trust in things, like maybe experiment.
No, but I think that's the best part about traveling alone. I always tell everybody that you need to experience traveling alone. So I've been moving country to country by myself. So I'm used to that since the last time when I was living in UK, that's when I was living with my mom and my brother. And from there to Malaysia to France to Dubai to everything, it's just been me solo. But it also shows how much strength you have in yourself, because we are constantly relying on people when we are around our families and friends and people we know. So we don't really know the strength in us until we go out to the world and we are really by ourselves. But also it reminds us that because we are so used to seeing all the fucked up shit on the news or on social media, we forget that kindness still exists. So look at how you went into a new country and you're meeting these strangers who are showing you kindness, everywhere. Which we sometimes forget that, in real life, outside social media, outside the news, there is kindness. We just need to be out there and willing to accept it. And it's funny because tomorrow is Random Act of Kindness Day, So we were talking about these things on our podcasting room this morning, and we're like, it's amazing how sometimes you even sit like just somebody paying for your coffee up front, or seeing a gentleman opening a door for an old lady, or helping out. Those things we take really for granted, but they are a big part of life. And out there in the real world, there's more of that. And it also reminds you to like, yo, show kindness to people, because you never know what they're going through. And just by smiling, like you were freaking out about your kids and you didn't know, you didn't have a fun, and these people just smiled, you went on a walk, they gave you water in their house, and you got back into your, so it proves that. So I'm proud of you, actually, because it takes a lot to go out in the world by yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really glad that the universe gave me the illusion of not having housing near me, so that it like we got to the point where we were like, okay, we know we can't live together anymore, and I can't find a place locally that isn't with friends, which is so funny because now that I've gone through all this, Paula, I'm moving in with friends in a couple weeks, like less than a couple weeks. In March, I'm moving in with friends because I'm like, now I'm ready.
Yeah, you needed to go through this in order that once you go back there, even if you're living with friends, you have found your independence, compared to when you left your marriage and your person and then moving with friends, would have still been kind of relying on them emotionally, physical, and it could have ended up damaging you or the friendship or just the atmosphere. So it needed to happen this way. And sometimes that's why I tell people, like, the signs are there. We just get too lazy to see the signs because of what we think we're supposed to want or should have. So we ignore the signs, which clearly are the ones that are supposed to lead us to what we need, even if it's bringing you right back, but it's bringing you right back with a fresh mind, with a growth, with strength and empower. And now you're ready, like, yeah, I can fucking stay with friends, but fuck them. Like, I can do this shit by myself. And we don't always have to do things together, because now you're used to being by yourself and you enjoy that time. Like, that's what I had to go through when in 2020, because I was constantly jumping from relationship to relationship. So I never knew how to be single and alone. And on my last relationship, of course, during COVID, and there was COVID, so who's really dating during COVID, right? So I mean, there are people who did and ended up, but it took COVID for me to actually learn to really be by myself and enjoy myself, because you couldn't hang out with your friends as frequently as you could. And some of my friends had families and now they have their kids at home. They have this. So they don't have as much time as well, because now they have to entertain their kids, their husbands or wives or whatever. So it took me to learn to be my own company, to enjoy time with myself, without a man, without friends, and now I enjoy it too much. Like, it's an added bonus. If you're around, fine, cool, I will enjoy you. But if you're not around, fuck it. I am my own best company. Exactly.
I know, it's so fun to wake up in the morning going, I have me. Like, I didn't realize how much I was so conditional. My happiness was so conditional, and I had no clue, because I had someone who was so sweet to me, just so over the top sweet. Like, he really just so sweet and loving. And you don't realize when you have that every day until you don't have it, like how much of that was why you were so happy all the time. And like, just having to wake up on my own in the beginning, like, I don't know. I went through a roller coaster with this, but I needed to get stronger. And it's funny because you're talking about like how you were proud of me for getting that album out before midnight, and how you were like procrastinating maybe when I was messaging that. But it's like, so much of this trip, I thought I was procrastinating. Like, I started 2 musicals, a book, 2 albums. Like, I've been working on so many random creative projects based on whatever I'm inspired by moment by moment. And some days, all I can do is just like, I don't know, be in me and barely do anything. Be in the ocean, walk on the beach, be here on this balcony, looking out the balcony, like doing nothing. There are some days where I really can't create, and some days where it flows out of me. And I could look at the whole thing of like, well, you started way more projects on this trip than you finished. Maybe you could view that as a failure, or maybe I just view that as perfect setup for when my inspiration strikes to finish whatever projects I started, which is more than what I listed.
So true. First of all, if you mention walking on the beach one more fucking time, I am gonna end this live because I'm fucking jealous right now. But
Hey, my invite still stays. I only got 12 days left though.
but you're so right, because that's the thing with being creative. There's some days you're really blocked, like, and maybe that's also a reminder from God or the higher power, whatever you believe in, to remind you that your brain, your mind also needs to rest. You need to go take a walk. You need to be outside in the nature, breathe some fresh air because you've been stuck in there and you're forcing something. And by being there, out there, and taking that time, even if it's sleeping, binge watching a show, going for walk, it brings back that inspiration on what you need to do. It refreshes your mind. So, and just like you're saying, all these 4 projects, and you can look at it all, but you didn't finish, or you can look at it, but you started shit. I'm working on so many projects to the extent that sometimes I feel none of them is getting done because it's half. But then when I look at it, I'm like, but I'm one step closer, right? At least the logo has been done. At least the social media page has been done. It's better than nothing. So never look at it as a failure. Just look at it as one step. And that's how our creative work. You work on something and then you get an idea. Oh shit, let me do this. And you get distracted and start this shit and this shit. But eventually they all end up connecting and they
It's
become.
all perfect.
Yes.
Divine timing. I really trust that people like us who've got like a million ideas and creative projects on the mind and seem to procrastinate, like I don't know if you have this diagnosis, but the diagnosis for me was ADHD. And it's like, actually, it's just a gift. Like I know when to create, when it's time to create, and I know when to not. And like, just trust if my body is saying, no, you cannot record today, that I'm receiving stuff I need so that when I sit down, it explodes out of me.
That happens to me too. There's some days I'm like, nah, we're just gonna sit in the bed today and not do no shit, and we're not gonna feel bad about it because that's what is needed
That's what
today.
cats do. That's what dogs do. Like we are animals, and we for some reason we grew up with like teachings that said humans aren't animals, like that they're separate. It's so stupid. It's the funniest thing. It's like scientifically inaccurate. Also, like it's just dumb, like low IQ intelligence to like think we're separate. And so we tell ourselves that we can't like sleep all day like an animal would, when that's what nature does. Like animals are all different. They all function differently. We all have our own unique way of functioning. And it's funny you mentioned news and social media. I haven't been on news or really social media. I dabble here and there. I'm on YouTube a lot for like positive affirmations and music. But I haven't watched the news since before the pandemic.
I don't watch the news, to be honest.
Like, I don't know what's happening in the world.
Like unless I hear shit people talking about, or it like just passes by as I open Google or social media.
Right.
But for the longest time, I said I am not. The news is destined to make me sad and make me miserable, and I'm not giving it that power.
I used to do the Newsworthy podcast that Erica Mandy hosts. She's amazing. Like if people are like, I want to make that transition, I don't know how, like I want to stop with the news, but I want to be informed. I think that's perfect. It's like 10 minutes a day, all the day's news in 10 minutes or less. But even eventually with that, I had to stop for my own mental health because I just needed to go in.
Because I'm an empathy, so I take things so deep in my feelings. I'll start crying and being sad, and I'm looking like, but it really isn't really affecting me, but I am sad and mad, and so I was like, fuck this, unless it's really a news that's delivered to me on somebody that I know or anything, I don't care. If the world is gonna end, let it end. If we are dying, let us die. Like I don't need to know in advance. Like it's okay. But I like how you call this a creative retreat, and I see how much creativity it has brought to. Because again, for people who either follow her or anything, she hasn't been posting as much on social media, but I do get fast row seat on most of her shit. So I know how much work you've put creative wise and how much you've created. How about you share that with people? Because maybe there are people out here who are thinking, is creative retreat something for me? So let people know why creative retreat is kind of a must thing, and how it grounds you or grows you.
First of all, it's totally a must. And I wish I had realized, like, now I'm looking back, like, how valuable. And I knew day in and day out that it was valuable, but hindsight's everything, right? Like, I can look back and be like, I can't believe I gave myself this gift. And I booked so many stays that I used footage from for my creative projects, like pretty places with pretty views for making music videos or content that incorporates the places that I went. And so it's almost like everywhere I went became my medicine to create art that I desire to serve as medicine. And it all fueled itself for itself. And so the thing I'm most excited about is that I channeled when I was super sick and unable to move. There were times when energy would come through me and I would be permitted to use my voice. And so I channeled this album called The Weekend Retreat. Most of it was channeled while I was on bed rest in this beautiful home in Costa Rica. The bed was stunning and the most comfortable bed I've had this whole trip.
Is this when you had your butt injection?
This was shortly after the butt injection. So I got a little better after the butt injection. Like, the flu symptoms went away, but I still, like, my breathing, like, if I moved too much, and it was so humid too, like, I just couldn't breathe. I don't know what was up. I couldn't breathe or speak. It was very strange. That was what was left. So I was mostly just relaxing. But I would occasionally be like, all right, you have to record. And so with my sock bra insert, I would just lie in bed and let whatever would come through. And it created this album called The Weekend Retreat. And the whole point was to help me wake up to who and what I am when I let go of the layers of, like, oh, I'm this because I grew up and was told I'm that. Oh, I'm this because this makes sense. Oh, I'm, like, all these things we pick up because it's, like, good for us. My goal was that this album is channeled for people to plan a weekend retreat of their own, whether it's a creative retreat or just for self. It's all creative. Even if it's just for you going inward, that still is going to lead to creative work later on. Like, you can't get away from being creative as a being. Like, I just don't know how you would ever get away from it. It's what we are. Every thought you have is created. You are creative. People who believe they're not, I'm so sorry that somewhere you picked that delusion, but it is a delusion. So anyway, the idea was that this album was channeled so that in the morning you start your first day with the first 3 songs, the afternoon the next 3, and the evening the last 3 songs. And in between you fill it with whatever you feel called to fill it with, and you do that the 3 days. And so I channeled the album. It felt amazing, but I didn't really get the full benefit until I listened to it myself. And all of a sudden it was like the illusion of these false memories started to fall away. And I started to remember things, like, from the future that felt really good and true about who and what I am. And a part of this was seeing my artist named Marissa Lynn. I'd been struggling with, like, figuring out how to brand myself because my last name had changed all my life. And I am, like, overly honest to a fault. So I was like, I'm Marissa Iman. No, I'm Marissa Imon. No, I'm Marissa Iman. It depends on the, hold on. Let me, 1 sec. I don't know my last name. Hold on. Like, it was so annoying.
I'm glad you said it, because I'm even having trouble with all these names, because they keep, in the 1 year that I've known you, like, I've had to get used to so many names. Like, so when literally I was asking her for about, I was like, so what name are we going with? and then when I went to look at your links on social media on your YouTube, I'm like, how many YouTubes does she has? And they all have different. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother right now. But
Oh, I want to eat my mic. Yes, I know. And that's nothing. If you knew me my whole life, you would know I have way more names. Like, if you followed my business from the beginning, I started my business as Stella Gold, and I was making healing crystal Reiki jewelry and doing live performances selling my healing jewelry as Stella Gold. So I would, like, go and I would play music as, like, a tarot card reader. So I would put all my songs as, like, tarot cards and be like, the audience, like, choose which song is next and it's your fortune for right now. And then I would play, which, speaking of, now I'm doing comedy music as Sonic Hepburn. And I only introduce myself really as Sonic to strangers.
Which your new one just launched? Card reader, read me my fortune.
Speaking of cards, I'm a big fan of reality creation. Yeah. And I felt like the way you felt, Paula, of like, how do I keep track of this person's name? They're constantly changing. I was having that feeling while I was, lying sick in bed. I'm like, it's so frustrating that my spirit, my intuition keeps telling me to change my names. Like, I want to be settled. I want to be done. Like, that was a big part of my goal for channeling this album is like, I know I'm traveling through timelines from one where I was, I entered into a world where I wasn't allowed to exist. This being I am as a small child was wrong from birth and wasn't allowed to exist. And that created a lot of weird beliefs and things in my world that I have been, releasing and letting go of over the past couple decades. But I knew I needed like this push to just like land. I wanted to land somewhere that felt really good. And I did. And it's largely thanks to this weekend retreat. And if people are interested, it's coming out February 22nd. The URL is yourweekendretreat.com. You can sign up to get more info, but I'm also going to release on top of the album. I've been working on like 8-hour subliminals and some other songs that boost it, depending on how deep you want to get into your weekend retreat. And I'm partnering with some friends who might want to offer things for people to do on their weekend retreat. If you have anything you want to offer, I mean, listening to Paula's podcast is a great thing to do on your weekend retreat.
Yeah, baby.
Get inspired.
And if you leave a review, I might send you some merch because I got some cool merch. So that's what that's what you should put out there. Like, listen to Paula's episode, podcast, and leave a review, and you receive merch. Speaking of merch, did I show you my new ones that just came out?
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. So does Powerpuff inspired art is so fun. I just love it so much.
The back has the one with the full name, and the front has just
I
that.
love it.
Just like Talk Shit with Pete has that, and then it has that. So y'all, you might be getting some merch,
leave a review.
Leave a review. So there's something I actually wanted to. Yeah. Speaking of that, you've shared all that, which I love. But can you a little bit share the journey that started all this, that inspired all this, which was Free Satan? Can you share with the people about Free Satan?
Oh my God, I forgot about Free Satan. That's gonna be the fifth YouTube channel.
I've never seen incredible advertisement like the one you guys were doing for Free Satan. It made me want to attend every fucking show. And the part where there was a blunt being passed, I was like, why aren't you passing it this way? Like, I'm right here. Like, bring it this way.
Pass it through the screen. I know.
Like,
pass. Free Satan. Okay, this is before I discovered Free Satan is why I discovered I'm omni-gender, because my opening episode. So after the death, I started to come back to life, and my former spouse and I had our 1-year anniversary, and we went to the beach, but it was March, so it was freezing cold because it was in New England. But I remember as we were driving to the beach, the idea for the show hit me, and I had hosted a comedy show there with Dave Hill and Tony Naj. If you're not already following these comedians, like, they're incredible. And the venue owners of the Hooker Dunham Theater in Brattleboro were like, we're looking for more like regular content. And my heart just said, yeah, you're going to host something more regular there. So just say yes, just book it. You don't know what it is yet, and just book it. So this was like March-ish of last year. So I booked it for June through October with no clue what it was going to be at all. No clue. I just knew I wanted to do something that was like a combination of comedy, music, and motivation together as one type of show. Like, I wanted it to be an energy healing where people didn't know that's what they were getting into. Like a secret energy healing experience. So that's all I know.
Come into my dungeon and find out what's going to
That really is what it ended up being. So we're driving and it just hits me, freesatan.com. Just buy the URL. So I bought the URL. It was available. And I was like, this is the name of the show. I don't know what it is. And then the song, be your own. All I can hear is free your own inner Satan. It's by Mama Cass. I can't remember the real lyrics, but I opened with a parody of Mama Cass's song that's in Barbie. This was before Barbie came out or before any ads. So it was really an interesting synchronicity that song got big that same year. And it was just like about letting that part of you, that's the dark parts of you that you're afraid of, letting them be seen so that you can bring them to the light for healing and love and oneness with all that you are, instead of pretending that you are not the things in the world that you wish to not see. Like thinking that anything is separate from you causes a lot of pain within the self. And my goal was that through comedy, people would feel more oneness with all of their darker parts. And so every episode included a game that was like, if blank can blank, you can blank. And it was me finding bizarre facts from nature. Like, for example, did you know dolphins will literally mutilate puffer fish to get high?
No, I don't know how I would know that, but interesting.
So it's like, if they can do that, like, what are you feeling guilty for? Like, we still think dolphins are adorable and amazing, magical beings. And we're not shaming them for the fact that they will play around with a puffer fish and kill it while they're getting high off of it. Which, by the way, I'm seeing so many puffer fish here. It's very interesting.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
But the show is just full. And the thing is, I had no game plan, no humans that seemed to be on my side with the show. I had no one on my team. And I go to I go to this production of, I go to a musical. Anyway, I'm in the bathroom and I'm in line next to this person who ends up becoming like one of my closest friends who I'm about to go live with, PJ Mead. She's an amazing actor and performer. And we're just like chatting in line for the girls' bathroom, cracking up hysterically. We're making like the whole line laugh. We have this great time. Then 2 days later, I bump into her at an audition. And we just hit it off, and she becomes my onstage production manager. I didn't know who else was going to be with me. Seth Chatfield, who's an amazing award-winning filmmaker. You got to go check out their films on YouTube. Look for Seth Chatfield. Their films are incredible. They're so funny. I was going to have Tony Naj, the comedian I mentioned on my first show, but she wasn't able to make it. And I just had this idea, like, I knew she was friends with this filmmaker and this actor, but I didn't know them yet. And I was just like, just invite them on. And they became a huge part of the show. They were in every single episode. They were the robot that I was with in that video where we were passing the blunt. And then Bella Hex is this other incredible performer who just offered to volunteer to help with like lighting and stuff on the opening night. And next thing I know, she becomes this huge part of the show too. And this whole team formed after I said yes to everything. I said yes with no game plan, no title of a show, no vision of a show. I just knew it was a yes in my heart, just like with the house and the dog. Like, things might not seem like they make any sense, but if it's a yes for you, it's a yes for you. Who cares what it seems like? And so now I have this whole team. And when I go back, we're going to work on more Free Satan stuff together. And I'm really excited for that, because it's just like a great way to offer healing to people without it being shoved in their face that it's healing, because it's just comedy for the sake of like laughing at ourselves and growing through comedy, ideally. Or if they just laugh, that's enough for me. But that first episode was Pride Month, and I had never come out. I just knew, I didn't even know I was omni-gender. I didn't know I was omnisexual. I didn't know those words existed. I just knew I wasn't a straight girl. That's all and I'd known that for decades. I just like didn't know the language for it. I just thought I'm an energy being who could be attracted to anyone based on energy. But that language, that's not like helpful in a lot of conversations, because not everyone understands what that means. And so when I wanted to come out, I thought, how about I just introduce the audience to like all these alter personas that I have within me spiritually. They're not real. They're just these spiritual concepts that I have. And I had my friend dress up as a dinosaur, Pridosaurus Rex, and she and we just had a chat about, I introduced like Malcolm. I introduced Monkey. I introduced Malcolea. I introduced these different parts of me, these different names that Paula has heard me go through, and their gender identity and their sexual orientation. And then I went home that night and looked in the mirror, and Malcolm was looking at me, who I had say no words on stage, basically, that night. He looked at me in the mirror and was like, dude, I am you. Like, stop making us like this special pushed out thing that's like spiritual woo woo out there. Like, it's you. This human you are is all of these aspects you're pretending that are like these separate spiritual things. It's all one person. And suddenly I like felt myself all like coming into my body, and like I had these like flashbacks of memories all fade away, and I could see where I had been overcompensating. Like, for example, I can remember very clearly, Sigourney Weaver in Alien. Yeah. Everyone always says she's super hot on the cover of Alien, or just like in general in Alien. But I can remember as a kid being like, ew, no one would want to look like that. And that memory came back to me because I was looking in the mirror and I said to myself, I'm almost as hot as Sigourney Weaver in Alien. And then I remembered all the times as a kid where I was overly like, no, that can't be attractive because that doesn't look feminine enough. And I was trying to prove something. And I just wasn't aware of that energy. You're not aware of what you're not aware of, right? So I'm sure there's more, and I can't wait. But it was thanks to Free Satan and just following this pull that like I came out for real. Like I got to see myself and meet myself. And I just have this great crew of friends who were so supportive too, that made it so easy.
I love that. And I was so proud of you. And what better way to come out, right? Go create a fucking musical and call it Free Satan, because free that bitch, okay? But we have 5 minutes, and I need you to, I know, because you can fucking talk, but I love it. I love it.
Because I don't talk to anyone.
But I need you to let the people know what you have coming up, where they should connect with you, where they can find you, and save 1 minute so you can show them around, since you promised.
Okay, you got it. All right. So Overqualified Child on Instagram, Marissa Lynn on Spotify. Also, everything is on my websites. I have so many websites.
You sure do. She does.
MarissaLynn-music.com, yourweekendretreat.com, marissaiman.com, whatever you feel called to. Let's get the tour. I trust if you're interested in me, like we'll find each other. I mean,
well, the Facebook handle is there, so just go on our Facebook. I mean, on our Instagram, there's a link where all of our shit is there. Yes, and while you show us around, also leave a piece of advice for those people who are scared to make the big change like you did, or who they're so used to their comfort zone, they're scared, because it is scary to get out of your comfort zone, to get uncomfortable before you get comfortable again.
Yeah. Yeah, my advice is create a physical world illusion that makes it seem like you have no other way. Because that's what it took for me. And I didn't have enough money to plan more than like a week in advance at a time. So like I didn't know where I was going to be week by week for a while. It was really fascinating. Okay. Also, like I'm such a bachelor. Like this is such a bachelor pad.
I mean, you kind of are a bachelor right now, so why not?
Okay.
And can I just say, I love, like she laughs like a squirrel.
The high pitched laugh. Okay, let's see. So like this is my neighbor's place.
Wait, what?
This is my hallway. It's all like the hurricane just swept through here. There's so much construction going on everywhere you look. Like,
but it's amazing how you can hear it outside, but as soon as you're inside your place, you really don't hear any of this fucking noise.
Now, when they were working on the room next to me, I could only record between like 3 and 8 a.m. for a while. It was quite interesting. But it's also, it's really remarkable. I can't go too far from the Wi-Fi. But all the apartments on this floor, except for this one and one other, are just no walls. It's just ripped out. You can see like there's like a toilet hanging out in the hallway. There's just everything got ripped apart. And these people are so resilient and they're working so hard to bring back everything to what it was. And I'm really grateful to get to witness it.
I mean, that's their home, right? You gotta keep rebuilding, just like how we gotta keep rebuilding ourselves,
It's a perfect metaphor.
right? Keep rebuilding. Well, shit happens. Thank you for actually bringing some of your shit that happened. I appreciate you sharing, and it's amazing. I hope some people get inspired by this and motivated, because you, believe it or not, you fucking inspire and motivate me every day whenever I receive messages or
You
see
too,
what you're
love. You
doing.
too.
And to be able to do that move by yourself and learn about yourself and really connect with, because some people go into those places and they still also don't connect to the locals, but you will literally be a part of them. Like, she sent me pictures of her in a bus with a bus. Like, it's just amazing to watch and be inspired, and I am very proud of you. But I'm ready to have you back in America, so get your ass back.
I'll see you soon, love. Thank you so much for this. This was amazing. I'm proud of us.
Thank
I
you
love
very
you.
much, everybody who was tuning in live. Thank you for hanging out with us. For those who are going to watch replays, thank you for watching.
Shit happens.
Thank you for tuning in to Shit Happens, an integral segment of the innovative platform Talk Shit with Pete. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit subscribe and leave a review. You can find Shit Happens on YouTube at Talk Shit with Pete. If this served, share with friends or family who can relate. Remember, we all face challenges, but it's how we push past them that defines us. So, until next time, keep pushing forward. And remember, shit may happen, but so does growth. And you got this.